What's good and welcome in. You're watching NBA Now by Chat Sports. Chase Sr. here with you. Hope all of you had a great 4th of July weekend. On the show for today, 5 trade ideas that could really shake up the NBA after the peak and the heat of NBA free agency. NBA Summer League is in session right now. The NBA offseason going to die down a little bit as far as free agent acquisitions, but we know in the NBA there could always be a bombshell and blockbuster trade, and we're going to explore 5 of them on today's show. Before we do that, I want to hear from our loyal audience and some of our loyal subscribers in the comment section right now. Shout out your favorite team and who you want your team to trade for. You can give me a name or names in the comment section right now. Trade idea number 1, and this list, by the way, coming to you from Bleacher Report. We'll take a look at what they said about some of these trades, and also I'll relay some of my thoughts on these acquisitions as well. Toronto adds a key piece. Now, there were some rumblings about Toronto being in on Rudy Gobert. Obviously, they didn't land him. He went to the Minnesota Timberwolves to pair up in a fascinating fashion with Karl-Anthony Towns. But how about you go to a big man and you resort to the next level, a player like Myles Turner? Here is the trade here, and we'll break it down on the program. Raptors receive Myles Turner. Pacers receive Precious Achiuwa, really good young big man who actually played really good against Joel Embiid in the first round of the playoffs. Khem, Birch, Malachi, Flynn, Mykhailiuk, and a 2023 first-round pick, which is top 5 protected, going to Indiana. This Raptors roster is interesting for a couple of reasons. Now, according to Bleacher Report, it would make Toronto more attractive to Kevin Durant. So this is one big move that could be a domino to fall in order to land KD. But you think about what it would do for Toronto. They lost out on Rudy Gobert, and they certainly have a need to fulfill at that center position. And Gobert, arguably the best defensive center in the NBA, Myles Turner has led the NBA in block shots a couple of times throughout his career. So by not getting Gobert, you settle for Myles Turner. You have some shooters, some length and athleticism around him, especially at that wing spot, depending on what you might give up for Kevin Durant. And the Raptors, once again, a formidable team in the Eastern Conference. So be a real one. I want you to go down and just obliterate the thumbs up icon and like the video. As producer Jeremy has said in the past, and he just got engaged, so I'm not sure he can say this anymore. Go down there and tickle that thumbs up icon, be a real one, and support the show. We continue to break down some of these trades that could transpire after the peak of NBA free agency. Yeah, we have jokes and we like to have fun. That's why you kick it with us and subscribe. Trade idea number 2, Pelicans add some backcourt depth, and this is actually something that I don't think New Orleans should do. Pelicans receive Mike Conley, Jazz receive Jaxson, Devonte, and a 2027 first-round pick. If you're New Orleans, you're looking at Mike Conley, who is expensive, who I think the best basketball days for him are in the rear view. Jaxson, pretty solid player who hasn't lived up to those first-round expectations. And you get rid of Devonte, who at points throughout last year in the playoffs was getting DNP'd. So I can see why Bleacher Report put this together. According to BR, makes the Pelicans a contender in the West, but I think the Pelicans, as currently constructed, one of the better teams in the Western Conference, a team that next year, with the healthy Zion Williamson, they can win 45 to 50 games, which is really impressive given the previous history of the Pels. I don't like it for New Orleans because I like Devonte on his price tag, him being younger than Mike Conley, and I don't really like the fit of Conley either. And I think your depth is in a really good position. If you have Conley, does it also take playmaking opportunities away from CJ McCollum? You already have some really good defense on this roster. New Orleans, one of the more interesting teams going into this upcoming year, and I think they have one of the most well-rounded and deeper teams in the NBA. I just don't think it makes a lot of sense to bring in Mike Conley. He's a big name. The game, it ain't that big nowadays. Who will be a surprise playoff team for this season? Will it be producer Jeremy's Houston Rockets? Will it be the New Orleans Pelicans if you think that that's a surprise? I personally don't, but if you agree with me, let me know. You disagree with me, let me know also in the comment section. That'll be the pinned comment on today's show. Trade idea number 3, Lakers swap a couple of wings. And this is a point of emphasis for Los Angeles. They need to get better. They need to get more athletic. They need to bring in some shooting. And they just need to improve their all-around roster. And they might be able to do it by bringing in Josh Richardson of the San Antonio Spurs. You look at what the Spurs are doing right now. Are they tanking for Victor Wembanyama out of France, who might be the best NBA prospect going back to LeBron James, who most likely is going to be eligible to be selected in the 2023 NBA draft? Potentially. I mean, they traded away DeJounte Murray. They bought out Danilo Gallinari. Name me the best players on the Spurs roster right now. I guarantee you a lot of you couldn't. So why would it make sense to hold on to a 3-and-D player in Josh Richardson? You want to bring in and stockpile youth and see if those youthful pieces can help get you back on the right track, which the Spurs haven't been on in a little while. Somewhat competitive, yes, but the thought process behind what they're doing right now, overhaul the roster to a certain degree to bring in some stars. Now, I'm not saying Talen Horton-Tucker is going to be a star, but it's not working out for him in Los Angeles, and Josh Richardson is a better fit, and he makes more sense on that Lakers roster. According to BR, Richardson fits better with LeBron and AD. I echo those same sentiments. And for the Lakers, according to me, yours truly, Lakers need athleticism. They need some defense as well. They're able to accomplish that by bringing in Josh Richardson. You can accomplish looking fresh throughout the summer by copping one of these NBA hats. They're available for all 30 teams right now. Multiple styles available as well. If you use that link, thanks to today's presenting sponsor in Fanatics, all you got to do, plug in that link at chatsports.com/NBA hats. We're filtering through a couple of the hats on your screen right here. You want to look fresh during the summer season? Shoot, you can wear hats in the winter months as well, depending on where you're tuned in from and where you're living. Chatsports.com/NBA hats. Get swagged up, get swagged out by plugging in that link and buying a hat to support your squad today. I'll put that link in the comment section as well as the description of this video. Trade idea number 4. It's an interesting one too. The Philadelphia 76ers adding a lot of scoring, adding a lot of offensive output, but in turn losing a lot of defensive ability and a guy in Matisse Thybulle who has made 2 NBA all-defensive teams since getting drafted in the first round 3 years ago out of Washington. You look at this trade for Philadelphia. They get all of that offense as I talked about. Bojan Bogdanovic, who's a good fit on this roster because he's about a career 40% three-point shooter. Jordan Clarkson can fill it up in a hurry. Rudy Gay is a little bit older. I don't think the Jazz have a need for him right now on the team, given they're trying to get a little bit younger. They're retooling the roster a little bit around Donovan Mitchell, so that would kind of be a salary filler here. And the Jazz received Tobias Harris as well as Matisse Thybulle. Bleacher Report says the Sixers would save money and the Jazz would build some complementary pieces around Donovan Mitchell. And part of their shortcomings that have reared its ugly head throughout the playoffs, it's the Jazz just getting gashed on the wing spot because they have lacked wing defense. And Matisse Thybulle is one of the best wing defenders in the NBA. So while the Sixers get diverse scoring options and they add diversity and versatility to their offensive game on that end of the floor, they lose a lot of defense. And come playoff time, that could be a big concern. Now, you bring in PJ Tucker, who still is a very good defender if he ages right, even though he's 37 years old. $30 million fully guaranteed for him is a lot. So maybe you're able to help absorb it from that front. But for the Sixers, I think it's too much to give up for guys who don't play a lot of defense. And the same troubles that the Jazz had come playoff time, I think the Sixers would also have those same struggles on the defensive side of the floor once the game slows down in playoff-style basketball. If you love the NBA, I'm talking if you're a true hooper and you're not subscribed to the channel, what the hell are you doing? Do so right now by hitting that red sub button or plug in that link while this video rolls. YouTube.com/chatsportstv. We're bringing you the best and baddest NBA offseason coverage. And oh yeah, we cover the league during the season as well because we're not one-way stiffs. We have you covered year-round. Just make sure you hit that sub button. Last trade idea to get to, a blockbuster Dallas Mavericks trade. Who could it be? Drum roll. We'll pop it up on your screen. No, it is not for Colin Sexton. How about Ben Simmons? This is fascinating on a couple of fronts. One, because Ben Simmons hasn't played in more than a calendar year. He would have never played for the Brooklyn Nets, and I actually think he's a pretty interesting basketball fit for Dallas and what their needs are, which is just becoming a better defensive team, and they have to be better defensively outside of Luka because he's not the best defensive player. So Mavs get Ben Simmons, the mercurial star. The Nets receive Spencer Dinwiddie, Maxi Kleber, and first-round picks in 2025 as well as 2027. Nets brace for the rebuild, according to BR. Mavs get some backcourt help. Here's my thing, though. I don't want Ben Simmons in the backcourt for this roster. I want him playing the 4 spot. I want him playing in that Draymond Green role. Elite defense for a team that certainly needs it. A willing and special passer with elite and unique vision, which helps out Luka, as well as some of the other shooters on this team. And I think that Simmons, for those reasons, is a nice fit for Dallas if he's used in that particular role. If you use Ben Simmons as a point guard, then I don't really like the fit for the Dallas Mavericks, because Luka Doncic is going to be handling the basketball a lot. But if Ben Simmons were to be in that high post passer, playing that Draymond Green role offensively as a distributor and occasional scorer who can hang out in that dunker spot, up to this point, he's been unwilling to shoot the basketball, but he doesn't have to worry about it on this Mavericks roster. He gives them elite defense. Now, it is a little bit of a clunky fit playing alongside Christian Wood as well as JaVale McGee. JaVale McGee signed with the Mavs, hoping that he would be the starting center. Can he get away with Wood at the 5 and Simmons at the 4? Potentially. Interesting nonetheless. Which trade among those 5 makes the most sense for the players as well as the teams completing those deals? I want to hear from you once more in the comments section and get that thing popping right now.